Yeah, and it could have looked like he was kicking out in frustration as well to the ref, live, only gets one chance to see it and make his call and stuff like that.
Yeah.
George Lawler of Cass, he's had a free match penalty notice for a grade C dangerous throw. Apparently Lee Radford's seen ones just as bad in other games, not punished, so that'll endear him to his fan base anyway, being a, conspiracy theorist about some teams get treated differently to other teams. But he said that the grade and charge for George Lawler in isolation was totally deserved, so there you go. He'll be missing the cup game next week against his former side, unfortunately.
He's got the biggest chin in the world, hasn't he?
It is prominent, because he's not that big elsewhere, is he?
No. But I did notice that when we played Cass a few weeks ago.
He's a good player. They will miss his industrious hard work, I think, in the next 3 games. And it's a period you didn't want. The last time that people don't want to be getting suspended for is this period, because he's going to miss both Easter games now, so he can't help his team out in that period, which is really problematic. There's no rest and rotation available with him.
No. Someone truly shafted his team.
Yeah. Oh, shit, I've done it again, Sarah. Have I done it on all the other games? No, I've picked it up later on. The half-time and full-time score on Hull KR Warrington. It finished
26. Sorry.
Go on, what was it at half-time?
20 points to 6 to Rovers.
Yeah.
Well, of course it was Rovers because Warrington didn't manage to get that many points.
No, so it was 20 points to 6. It was actually 20 points to 0 after like 17 or 18 minutes, wasn't it, for Rovers? Warrington was stuck on the M62 even after the kickoff. 34-18 was the final score. 10,069 were there. It's a good crowd at Rovers, that. Liam Moore was the referee. In the stats, the only area it was close, really, was 10 errors each. Hull KR, though, won most numbers convincingly. 249 more metres, 7 more breaks, 1 fewer penalty conceded, and a 2.4% better team tackle success rate. This game had the most dummy half runs so far this year, with 43, which is 13 more than the game with the second most, Sarah. So a lot of running from dummy half. Classic Tony Smith from both sides, I think, his former side and his current side. Run out of dummy half at will. But that second most was actually a Warrington game too versus Toulouse, so maybe it's some sort of tactic that Darryl Powell's pushed onto this team that isn't working, I don't know. Or maybe it's something they're doing that he doesn't want them to do.
Yeah, we'll play Tony Smith style rugby and see if we can win.
Well, the first person you'll mention in the individual stats probably sings a little bit around that 43 dummy half runs, doesn't it, Sarah?
Yes, for Rovers, Matt Parcell made the stats roundup with 1 try assist, 10 tackle busts, 224 metres and 2 clean breaks. Ryan Hall with 2 tries, 1 try assist, 6 tackle busts, 112 metres and 3 clean breaks. Mikey Lewis with 1 try, 1 try assist and 112 metres. And Frankie Halton with 1 try and 130 metres. Very revealingly for the losing team, their top metre maker was Joe Bullock with 130 metres also. Then Peter Matautier with 1 try, 5 tackle busts and 107 metres. Ollie Holmes making 42 tackles and Darryl Clark making 41 tackles.
Yeah, Bullock was back after injury. I think he had to pick up some of the slack because Cooper went off injured, didn't he, in the game? So that didn't help, but I think they were already 20-0 down by that point.
Yeah, you're limited as to what difference you're really going to make, aren't you?
Yeah, EFC78JU said, the same old defence like always, not even Powell's fault, and these players in the team are putting him under pressure already, and the other half is the board recruiting these players that are not fit to wear the Warrington shirt. And as for the fans saying, the fans are saying it, they also want Carl Fitzpatrick gone as well, since he's not doing his job right. We need a suitable board and a suitable CEO for this club.
Wow. Don't sit on the fence, will you, EFC?
That's strong words. I mean, outside of the results, Carl Fitzpatrick gets a lot of praise for the work he does, so interested.
Yeah, but I have heard a lot of criticism of him this week.
Yeah, like he's more bothered about gimmicks than players and that sort of stuff, I guess, is what the allegations are. And you will start getting that when you're in bad runs. 5 losses in a row for Wire. They're going to start throwing everything at these guys.
Yeah. So Lee Whitnell said, this is all starting to feel a little bit 2017, not for Daryl Powell's OVs. Miserable fucking performance. I'd be disappointed at my under-11s for some of the weak defence on Sher. Even our tries looked blunderous.
What a word. He's made that one up out of nowhere.
I was like, good word, Lee. I'm impressed. Difficult to see where a win or even a performance is coming from. I'd take you want the win, not the performance at this stage. Simon Moran would have been better off shoveling his money into a skip fire. Utter fucking wank.
Neil McEwen said, Wire lose again. Ha 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 ha.
Neil Ormston said, didn't go. Right decision.
Finally, someone who enjoyed this game, Tom Andrews, said, an unbelievable start by the entertainers put this game pretty much to bed before Warrington got off the coach. A packed house enjoyed seeing Matt Parcell deliver what must be the stat line of the week. It's close. The arrival of Coote, a lad from Fev smashing through Wire's salary cap busting squad, and Big George show we have the best king in the league. Scoreline flattered the Wire puppy dogs. Up the fucking Robins.
Rich Owen said it's going to be a long season. Soft tries conceded, no ruck control and no go forward. Rinse and repeat every week. Can't see it improving either with these sets of forwards. Squad overhaul needed. Didn't like the threats some of the players got after the match there. It's really frustrating, but let's try and support the team through the bad as well as the good.
And Fatboy Rob said, funny as fuck, that is all. That storyline about the... I can't remember. I thought I put it in my version of the rundown somewhere, but I can't find it. Warrington have banned 2 fans, haven't they, for abuse that was given to Josh Charnley after the game. That did cross the line. So I think fair enough.
Totally, yeah. I think clubs should be taking a firm stance on this sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. And I think they've offered the chance for I think it was an 18 or 19-year-old lad, one of them, to actually meet with Josh Charnley. And I'm sure he'll take them up on that opportunity, and I'm sure he'll behave very differently to what he did from behind his little phone screen with the words he was saying. But yeah, let's talk about the game. I know you won't want to talk about the Rockin' Robins, but they blew Warrington away, didn't they?
So I was actually going out to meet friends on Friday night, and I thought, let's switch the rugby on in the car on the way out. And it's like, and we're crossing for some breaking news. What update do you have? And I was like, what's happened? And it was only that Warrington was stuck on the motorway. I was like, oh, come on. So I didn't see this match, but chatting to Joshua's good friend Turney, who was the timekeeper, he was saying Rovers were very, very good and Warrington were not. Well, if
the game was over like in 17 minutes, really, with the start Rovers made it.
I think I had a sneaky look at my phone, about 8:30 or so, and I thought, wow. That's game over, isn't it?
Yeah, and you kind of like looking at the highlights, it looked like early doors every time they got close to Wire's line they scored. But actually, I think there was like a goal line dropout and a held up over the line and a few other instances where probably Wire weren't quite as shit defensively as they looked on the highlights. But that just shows how dominant and on the front foot Rovers were at that time of the game. And the first couple of tries were quite easy, really. Coote try that took a bit more scoring. It was another example of Mikey Lewis being arguably the best support halfback in the league right now. I mean, every break Hull make all season, he's around the ball, and it was there to be seen again in this game with the assist on Coote's try and with his own try later in the game as well. Just he's always popping up through the line whenever a Rovers player breaks the line. He's there around it.
Yeah, he is a very talented player.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure if they started the game with Metaltia at fullback, Warrington. I didn't catch that they did. I think they moved him to fullback after about 20 minutes or so, maybe. But it did look like that helped Wire's attack slightly as the game went on. But every aspect of their defence looked off, and the game was already well out of hand before Rovers started scoring tries off forward passes in the second half. So, all's good, I think, for Hull KR in this one. They've got some talented players, and when they're playing, positively, they have people out in this game. Vete's still out, isn't he? Abdul pulled out with an illness, close, in the build up to the game and stuff, and they still. Coop coming back and actually performing maybe was a big factor, because he hasn't performed for them so far, but it looked like he did in this game.
Yeah.
Bit of news out the disciplinary on this one, Sarah?
Yeah, so Sam Wood has been charged with a grade A late hit on passer, but has got a 0 match penalty notice, so obviously hasn't been naughty in that way recently.
Yep. And EFC78JU got in touch to tell us about Daryl Powell. Actually, this was on my radar as well. Daryl Powell's offered to meet fans that went to the Hull KR away game. So he's offered to meet any fans that travelled to Hull KR after admitting he was fuming with the team's performance. The Wolves suffered their 5th consecutive loss after they were beaten 34-18. He said he would be happy to sit down with any travelling fan and give insight on his plans and explain how he wants to turn things around. So I wonder if any fans will take him up on that opportunity, but I don't think it's an empty offer.
Apparently he did it when he was at Featherstone after a really bad performance of theirs, and I can't remember who it was against. I feel like it was against Wakefield, but he made the offer and he did sit down with fans and talk to them.
Well, there you go then. So the offer's there. I think...
and full respect to the guy for making that offer.
Yeah, he's not shying away from things at all, is he?
Yeah, he's been upfront. He said it was unacceptable, and yeah.
He's talked about how easy his side are to break down, and you do see that. You do see that it doesn't seem to. We're going to talk about Leeds in a minute, and Sky gave a stat about how Leeds concede one try for every 6 play of the balls in their own 20.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that Wyre's stat is that a million miles behind either. They have had probably more good patches in games than Leeds have, but five losses in a row now. One of them was against St Helens, and one of them was against Catalans, although the team Catalans had out that night, you would have expected them to beat it.
Yeah.
But these last 3 have been games that you would go into it this season as a Warrington fan counting them as wins. You would expect.
Yeah.
But Hull KR, credit to them, good performance.
But also, do you have to ask questions about the professionalism of the club as a whole, turning up to a match that late when you know that there's massive roadworks on the M62? The delay wasn't caused by an accident. It was planned and scheduled roadworks and heavy traffic because, well, A, it's a Friday night, B, Huddersfield are travelling to Hull City. Why is the team not arriving in plenty of time?
Oh, I just assumed it was like an accident or heavier than normal traffic or something. I didn't realise it was because of pre-existing planned.
Yeah, it was because the Ouse Bridge at the minute's down to 1 lane, so it's going to snarl everything up.
Yeah.
But I mean, and a Warrington fan was saying, I was travelling over to Hull. I left at 4 p.m. I arrived at 7 p.m. And that's him leaving work early to get there. These are full-time professionals. Surely the club has a responsibility to ensure that they get there in time. And I know a number of years ago there was a Hull match that ended up being called off because there had been a massive accident.
Yeah.
On the M62, and we were playing Bradford at home, and the Bradford bus, as well as a number of our players who travel from West Yorkshire, were stuck in total standing traffic.
Yeah.
And then at about 9 o'clock, it was actually rearranged to the Sunday afternoon. And that's different. That is totally like we're on the motorway and this has happened in front of us. There's nothing we can do. But when it's roadworks that have been happening for the last month or however long, I don't think that there's an